Section 1 from the book of Genesis. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar with Ahuzah his friend and Phicol the captain of his army. Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, since you hate me, and have sent me away from you?" They said, "We saw plainly that forever one was with you. We said, 'Let there now be an oath between us, even between us and you, and let's make a covenant with you, that you will do us no harm, as we have not touched you, and as we have done to you nothing but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessed of forever one.' He made them a feast, and they ate and drank. They rose up sometime in the morning and swore an oath to one another. Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. That same day Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had dug, and said to him, 'We have found water.' He called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took as wife Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. They grieved Isaac's and Rebekah's spirits. When Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his elder son, and said to him, 'My son.' He said to him, 'Here I am.' He said, 'See now, I am old. I don't know the day of my death. Now therefore, please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt venison meat for me. Make me savory food, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, and that my soul may bless you before I die.' Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son. Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. Rebekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, 'Behold, I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me venison and make me savory food, that I may eat and bless you before forever one, before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command you. Go now to the flock, and get me 2 good young goats from there. I will make them savory food for your father, such as he loves. You shall bring it to your father, that he may eat, so that he may bless you before his death.'" Section 2 from the book of Judges. Then Samson went down, and his father and his mother, to Timnah, and came to the vineyards of Timnah, and behold, a young lion roared against him. The spirit of forever one came mightily on him, and he tore him as he would have torn a young goat, and he had nothing in his hand. But he didn't tell his father or his mother what he had done. He went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. After a while he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and behold, there was a swarm of bees in the body of the lion, and honey. He took it into his hands, and went on, eating as he went. And he came to his father and mother, and gave to them, and they ate. But he didn't tell them that he had taken the honey out of the body of the lion. His father went down to the woman, and Samson made a feast there, for so the young men used to do. When they saw him, they brought 30 companions to be with him. Samson said to them, "Let me tell you a riddle now. If you can declare it to me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing. But if you can't declare it to me, then you shall give me 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing." They said to him, "Put out your riddle, that we may hear it." He said to them, "Out of the eater came out food, out of the strong came out sweetness." They couldn't in 3 days declare the riddle. On the 7th day they said to Samson's wife, "Entice your husband, that he may declare to us the riddle, lest we burn you and your father's house with fire. Have you called us to impoverish us? Is it not so?" Samson's wife wept before him and said, "You just hate me, and you don't love me. You have put out a riddle to the children of my people and haven't told it to me." He said to her, "Behold, I haven't told it to my father nor my mother, and shall I tell you?" She wept before him the 7 days while their feast lasted, and on the 7th day he told her, because she pressed him severely, and she told the riddle to the children of her people. The men of the city said to him on the 7th day before the sun went down, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" He said to them, "If you hadn't ploughed with my heifer, you wouldn't have found out my riddle." The spirit of Forever One came mightily on him, and he went down to Ashkelon, and struck 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave the changes of clothing to those who declared the riddle. His anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, who had been his friend. But after a while, in the time of the wheat harvest, Samson visited his wife with a young goat and said, "I will go in to my wife into the room." But her father wouldn't allow him to go in. Her father said, "I most certainly thought that you had utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her to your companion. Isn't her younger sister more beautiful than she? Please take her instead." Samson said to them, "This time I will be blameless in regard of the Philistines when I harm them." Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and took torches, and turned tail to tail, and put a torch in the midst between every 2 tails. When he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing grain of the Philistines, and burned up both the shocks and the standing grain, and also the olive groves. When the Philistines said, "Who has done this?" they said, "Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he has taken his wife and given her to his companion." The Philistines came up and burned her and her father with fire. Samson said to them, "If you behave like this, surely I will be avenged of you, and after that I will cease." He struck them hip and thigh with a great slaughter, and he went down and lived in the cleft of the rock of Etam. Section 3, from the first book of Chronicles. Now the first lot came out to Jehoiarib, the second to Jediah, the third to Harim, the fourth to Seorim, the fifth to Malchijah, the sixth to Mijamin, the seventh to Hakoz, the eighth to Abijah, the ninth to Jeshua, the 10th to Shechaniah, the 11th to Eliashiv, the 12th to Jakim, the 13th to Huppah, the 14th to Jeshebeab, the 15th to Bilgah, the 16th to Immer, the 17th to Hezir, the 18th to Hapizez, the 19th to Pethahiah, the 20th to Jehezkel, the 21st to Jachin, the 22nd to Gamul, the 23rd to Deliah, the 24th to Maaziah. This was the ordering of them in their service, to come into the house of Forever One, according to the ordinance given to them by Aaron their father, as Forever One, the God of Israel, had commanded them. Of the rest of the sons of Levi, of the sons of Amram, Shubael; of the sons of Shubael, Jedaiah; of Rechabiah, of the sons of Rechabiah, Ishia the chief; of the Izharites, Shelomoth; of the sons of Shelomoth, Jahath. The sons of Hebron were Jeriah the chief, Amariah the second, Jehaziel the third, Jechamiam the fourth. The sons of Uzziel, Micah; of the sons of Micah, Shamir; the brother of Micah, Ishia; of the sons of Ishia, Zechariah. The sons of Merari were Mahli and Mushi; the son of Jaaziah was Beno. The sons of Merari were of Jaaziah, Beno, and Shoham, and Zakur, and Ibri. Of Mahli were Eleazar, who had no sons. Of Kish, the son of Kish was Jeramiel. The sons of Mushi were Mahli, Eder, and Jerimoth. These were the sons of the Levites after their fathers' houses. These likewise cast lots, even as their brothers, the sons of Aaron, in the presence of David the king, and Zadok, and Ahimelech, and the heads of the fathers' houses of the priests and of the Levites, the fathers' houses of the chief, even as those of his younger brother. Section 4, From the book of Matthew. When Jesus had finished all these words, he said to his disciples, "You know that after 2 days the Passover is coming, and the Son of Man will be delivered up to be crucified." Then the chief priests, the scribes, and the elders of the people were gathered together in the court of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas. They took counsel together that they might take Jesus by deceit and kill him. But they said, "Not during the feast, lest a riot occur among the people." Now, when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, a woman came to him, having an alabaster jar of very expensive ointment, and she poured it on his head as he sat at the table. But when his disciples saw this, they were indignant, saying, "Why this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor." However, knowing this, Jesus said to them, "Why do you trouble the woman? She has done a good work for me. For you always have the poor with you, but you don't always have me. For in pouring this ointment on my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. Most certainly, I tell you, wherever this good news is preached in the whole world, what this woman has done will also be spoken of as a memorial of her." Then one of the 12, who was called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him to you?" So they weighed out for him 30 pieces of silver. From that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now on the first day of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying to him, "Where do you want us to prepare for you to eat the Passover?" He said, "Go into the city to a certain person and tell him, 'The teacher says, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples.'" The disciples did as Jesus commanded them, and they prepared the Passover. Now, when evening had come, he was reclining at the table with the 12 disciples. As they were eating, he said, "Most certainly I tell you that one of you will betray me." They were exceedingly sorrowful, and each began to ask him, "It isn't me, is it, Lord?" He answered, "He who dipped his hand with me in the dish will betray me. The Son of Man goes, even as it is written of him. But woe to that man through whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would be better for that man if he had not been born." Judas, who betrayed him, answered, "It isn't me, is it, Rabbi?" He said to him, "You said it."